JT? Oh, well, we missed all that when that was all perfect. Damn it, that was good. Here's what's good is that I was recording it on my end, so we can use that.
Perfect.
Because I loved that little, just that little. I mean, that brought us together. Finally. Where are you right now? Are you just on the stoop of some Brooklyn apartment?
This is my little studio. That's actually that's Abbey Road. That's the exterior of Abbey Road studio.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and that is Abbey Road Studio number 3, circa 1969. That's the tubed desk that the Beatles did Tomorrow Never Knows on.
Wait, hold on. Wait, is that just a backdrop or is that the actual?
And that's why I use. No. These are all murals.
Oh, okay, good.
This is a garage, Josh. This is a garage. I have 3 garages at my house. My wife is moving me further and further to the street. This is just in my garage. So that's Abbey Road. The Beatles sat right there, and Paul looked at John and said, "How long is the Japanese woman going to be with us, John?
Can you turn the mic down maybe a little bit while we're recording?
Please do something." And that's just a bunch of TV shit. So
good. Fuck yeah, man. This is,
That's cool.
I was there. That's what we did. What did we do? We did Clapton from there, I think.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, dude. And I was like so bummed out that you're in LA right now. So you're just LA all the time now, huh?
No, I got a house in Santa Monica, which is here, and I still got my apartment. And I'll be in New York next week. I'll be at the Cellar Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
We could have done this live.
They told me you needed it done this week.
Oh, that's Emily. I think no. I know it because it's the holidays.
It's the holidays, yeah.
Yeah, and we're just trying to like wrap everything up because we don't want to like record. I think it's like I think Hollywood shuts down
the 15th.
Yes, September. Shuts down September 15th.
That's it. They don't know the strike's over yet.
Yeah, there's still Hollywood shuts down, and so they're like, she's just like, let's get everything done, and she's right. And truth be told, you more than most people, I mean, you have great internet connection. You've zoomed in the past. You zoom on your podcast, so you know it is. So there's no real like lag. We might as well be in the same room.
Yeah, it's still funner in the same room. Me, you, and the dog.
Oh God, Leck is just killing it, and. But I could come to your house. I'll be in LA the 17th and the 18th, and then we could go to the other room, which is you have one of the other garage backdrops is the Coke room at Studio 54.
It's all black formica and mirrors.
It's all just mirrors, dude.
That's it.
Dude, how are you? I feel like I always want to catch up. I miss you. I love you. And
love you, miss you. I'm glad you're doing well. You seem well. How's your finger?
All right. You want to hear? You want to hear?
Tell me.
All right.
Well, we got to postpone. I said, all right.
No. This is. I think this is how you open it. So I have routines in the day. Let's just start there. Okay. And I wake up a certain time. I eat. I walk the dog. I go get my coffee, or I already have my coffee from the day before. Whatever it is, and it gets to a certain place in the day around 1:30. And that's where I'm like, I'm going to go out and get lunch. And I take the dog on a walk and I go get lunch. And I'm getting ready to leave. It's 1:30 p.m. And Emily, my booker, God bless Emily, we love her to death. She texts me, hey, you could talk to Adam in a half hour when you guys are podcasting. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I look at my calendar, which for some reason, Jeremiah has said that all of it says like, I don't agree to it. This is such bullshit.
On his own show, he's tentative for every episode.
Maybe.
I can't. This is why I'm not married. I can't commit to a woman. I'm going to commit to a guy with a hat. I can't do it.
So I fucking, when I see that I have this podcast and it just fucked up my food schedule, I throw a fit. I throw a fucking fit. And I slam my hand on my desk, very like, just rage, like. But it was just like I was just getting it out, and the computer has, and I would show you, but I can't because I might unplug everything. I have a brand new MacBook Pro, and so you don't have a USB driver attached into the computer, into the mainframe. You have it like there's like a thing that comes out that you have to plug in. Right. And that then has like your USB, your HDMI or whatever. And my finger hit that. and I just ripped a chunk of my finger, and it was bleeding badly, and I'm like, no. But then I was like, oh, I can go get lunch now. I guess I can go get lunch because we canceled the podcast. I have to go get my finger fixed. And it was fine. And then once you said you'd be able to move it, it was like, okay, great. But it was more just a fit of rage, one stitch, and it was actually funny. Two things. One, I posted about it on my social media, and one, I lost probably 300 to 400 followers because I posted my finger getting one stitch. I'm not lying. I was at 195. I'm at like 194, 900 something now. And then people made fun of me because they were like, you got that stitched? Were you just seeing if your health insurance worked?
That's funny.
That was the funniest thing, where somebody was like, are you just checking to see if it works? Like,
can I?
And it's fine. I'll show it to you at the end of the podcast. That's why you got to stick
I'll
around.
unfollow you. Don't show me. I'll unfollow you.
No, you got to stick around. Everybody, all the listeners, stick around to the end, or pay for the Patreon, and at the end, we'll show you my finger. Scoodly doodle and a caboodle. But dude, I'm listening. This is the God's honest truth: is that you're human Prozac. So I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad we get to be around one another. Yeah. You want to so you want to you're the fact guy. You know everything. So I could read
you in trouble.
No, what are you talking about, dude? You know everything. You're not 100% like Wikipedia but line for line, but you know music. You really do.
This part of music I like. I just had on my show was the Immediate Family. You know who that is?
Mm-mm.
Denny Tedesco did The Wrecking Crew. You familiar with that documentary?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So his new documentary is called The Immediate Family, which is the studio musicians from the 70s, which is they came out of the Troubadour, which was James Taylor's backup band. So it's Russ Kunkel, drummer, Waddy Wachtel, Leland Sklar, the bass player, played with Phil Collins. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. So I had them all on my show because the new documentary is coming out, and I geeked out. And
as you should.
And they're all studio musicians. And I'm asking them a question. I'm like, how do you guys get paid? Herbie Flowers did the bass line for Walk on the Wild Side. Boo, boo.
Yeah.
Iconic. $8. He made $8 American. I mean, that's about
insane. Yeah.
Just a session fee. So yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say, how do you keep it together when you're like, because it's funny is that sometimes I'm getting people on the podcast that are so famous, and yet I don't know. Like it's like Jer, who did we have? We had, was it Dave Davies or Ray Davies? We had Dave Davies.
Dave.
Brother.
So the last time we did,
the band was mine.
Yeah, dude. And he went in, talked about everything. He was the sweetest guy in the world. Very funny. But it was one of those things where it's like, I'm just not a big Kinks fan enough to know how big a deal this is until after the fact. And then everybody's like, ah, yeah. So how do you keep it together when you're talking to these people that you love?
I don't. I'm more excited. The only thing that saves me, Josh, is my genuine excitement to have these people's attention, have this audience with them. I'm hoping comes across because what I like to make these guys laugh. I had Steve Vai on. I had Glenn Johns, who produced You Really Got Me.
Yeah.
I had Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. I had Ann Wilson from Heart. And the best thing is when I can make them laugh, because they have brought so much inspiration, joy to my life, and this music has been my companion on the road. You know, I've been on the road 30 years.
Yeah,
so
man.
A lot of it's audiobooks because I'm dyslexic, and just hearing those stories and being steeped in that world. It's when I make them laugh, it makes me I feel like I'm giving back. You know, like thank you.
Yeah,
and you laugh a little bit. So I think I keep it together by serving a purpose, or my head kind of serving a purpose, rather than God tell me about Lola. You know?
What who this, and I know this is before we even get into the Kinks, but like who is the musician or idol or whoever you've had on, you've been able to talk to, that you got the biggest laugh out of, and what was it?
I was lucky. I got Glenn Johns. I got a huge laugh out of.
Really?
It's a legendary producer. Because I told him, I said, you produced Zeppelin 1, you produced Get Back, you produced The Who's Next, you produced all these albums that meant so much, because you heard the Eagles harmonize for the first time, and you said, that's it. He goes, well, I don't know. I think anyone could have done that. And the line I told him, I said, you're downplaying a lot of this, Johnson. It's really starting to fucking piss me off.
Yeah.
And he fell back. He's an 80-year-old guy. I put the clip on my social media. He was
good. Good.
And Waddy Wattel, Waddy. I just had Waddy on yesterday, and I said Keith Richards. Mick Jagger's like, I don't know if I'm on a tour, and Keith is like, well, I'm not going to sit around all day. That's when the heroin comes back. So he came out with the winos, and the first call he made with to play guitar was Waddy. And I said, Waddy, is that a source of pride for you? Keith Richards said, I'm starting a band, get me Waddy. Now, he didn't say it that clearly because he's been through a lot.
Sure.
But still, and Waddy fell off the chair. So making those guys laugh like that. And Steve Vai, too. Steve Vai's a beekeeper. Did you know that?
I did not. I just remember that when I remember, God, what was that record that somebody had got me into? The one with
Love and Warfare?
No, it's like a very like almost like religious-y kind of album cover, like something that David LaChapelle would shoot, and welcome to the introduction. It's like him as a little kid in like a class, and it's like is this crazy guitar solo, and somebody had turned me on to that, and so I bought that record, and we've had him, not him, we almost had him. We had the guy that taught him, who's that guy?
Satriani.
Yes, we had Satriani on. And then we just had Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah.
We had him on as well. So
I told Steve Vai, I said, you're from Carl Place, Long Island, which is 3 stops on the train from me. And I'm like, well, if this guy from Carl Place can do stuff, I can do something important, And I told him, I said, you're the reason I picked up the guitar, and you're the reason I put it down. Let's be honest. I'm not.
I know. It's like there's you listen to music and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna buy an instrument, and then my new thing is like I'm buying a piano for my apartment that I can fit in here, so I can 2 things. One, relieve stress anytime I get. It's like music to me is just because I'm like, here's my desk and I can turn to the right. The piano will be there. I'll tinker for a second, kind of relieve the stress, come back to the world. But also I want to learn Claire de Lune by what's his name? Debussy. That's not how you say it. That's how an American would say it. Debussy. The guy, this brilliant French pianist. And it's like, I started watching videos on how to learn it. And I'm like,
my wife plays that. My wife has a lot of taste. Don't let who she married fool you. She's a big jazzer. She met Ella. She met all these guys. Dizzy. So she's got really really good taste. So she'll turn me on. Like we listened to the Kinks the other day.
Yeah,
I was playing this album because I know I was going to talk to you, and she doesn't know a lot of music from this era, but she knows that I like it, and she can see the depth of things because the Kinks have to. I mean, we'll get into this, but
let's go. I love this. Is right. No, not to cut you off. I want you to keep going.
Let's do it.
I love how you
say this twice, and Jeremiah's got to go.
No, Jeremiah's here. Jeremiah's got a crime to solve in 1902 England. You know what I mean? With that fucking hat on.
But I'm so close to naming them.
Like, Dr. Moriarty, I will find you. That was a perfect way. This is how you get into the Kinks. This is how you get into it. You had it on. You were doing that. Now things were happening. Your girl said this, and you were Go ahead. Whatever you want.
We're playing the Kinks, and I'm telling you, this is Lola. And she pointed out accurately. There's the story songs which have a lot of depth to them, and then there's that. It's almost proto punk to me. That the 3-chord, you could hear the anger, you could hear the 3-chord, just the thrust of it, that trebly, angry kind of thing that evolved into punk. Because what happened was when the Who was considered the godfathers of punk, not just in my opinion, that's been documented. Yes. That's why the Sex Pistols kind of said, all right, we'll sing Substitute. I wasn't born with a plastic spoon in my mouth, then I'm going to spit. And Malcolm McLeod went, fabulous. So, but Pete took the rhythm for I Can't Explain when Lambert and Stamp went to the band and said, you guys have to write songs. We're not going to make any money, and stop breaking shit. So Pete said, I listened to a couple of Kinks songs and just produced this rhythm. So bam, 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 that was I Can't Explain. And he got it from You Really Got Me, which is kind of like the first kind of, oh, what is this? Kind of opening of rock and roll. And when I was reading about how he wrote that, Ray Davies said, it was just chatting up a girl, really. He goes, You Really Got Me. And then when she got bored, I changed the key. And then I get the girl, so that's what it was. And Dave Davies, who you had on, was attributed to creating that sound. Legend was, and I don't know if you asked him this question, he put one of his mother's knitting needles through the speaker and got that the beginning of fuzz tone.
Maybe he said that.
Yeah.
But this is, you're the first time, and then what I have written as well is that I didn't realize this, is that because of their contribution, they have been labeled the original punks.
Well, I think in my opinion, they started because I know the Who was original. That's why when the Stadium Rock went down and almost like the French Revolution in music, like we're gonna storm the castle because it was so bloated, Zeppelin and everything, and then Spinal Tap came out. It was so bloated, it went back to simple with 3 chords, and it was almost like we have to kill the Beatles, the Stones, and the Who. But the Who was kind of like, well, not the Who. Pink Floyd, okay. And that's why Johnny Rotten would wear the I Hate Pink Floyd shirt, because it was the establishment.
But weren't like the Kinks, and forgive me if, because I only have the shit that's in front of me from what I've known from the other episodes, but it's like this is a band that is at the forefront of Brit pop.
Yeah.
This is, when you talk about the Beatles, the Stones, the Who, all the Hollies, all those bands that came from England and swept America, the Kinks and should have been as big as all of them, and then we'll probably get to all the shit, the reason why. But like they're starting with them. Am I right?
They started before. They were the first one to write the original songs. You really got me, and Jeremiah can check me with this because he's the investigator.
Yeah, he is. You should wear that hat every day, dude. They tell me do a pod, dude.
Shel Talmy was the producer, and I believe Glyn Johns was the engineer. So, and they were the beginning, and they also did My Generation, and they did it all came out of, it all started there. So the Kinks weren't that big in America because they didn't tour from 68 to 69 or 70, because when they were here, Ray Davies got in a fight with one of the union guys.
Yes.
They were volatile. They were just like, one of the gigs before the tour, Mick, the drummer, threw a bass pedal at Dave Davies, knocked him out. He thought he killed him. He ran away. They were beating each other up on stage.
I love that, dude.
They were beating each other up on stage, and they said, well, let's send him to America. And they went, and their tour manager left. I think he went to go manage Sonny and Cher. He just said, fuck it, you guys are on your own. So Ray gets in a fight with one of the union guys. Now, Ray Davies, a Teamster. Stop it. So
you know what, dude? It's kind of like, but a British guy,
right?
British people are stronger. Some of them.
They're not stronger than we're not getting a work permit, so you can't tour in America for 4 years.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying, it's like,
look, I don't care how much you can bench press. You ain't making a dime from us. So
so basically they're stopped from going into the country to tour during the peak years of their, like, oh man. Yeah.
That's why they're not as big as they should have been, or had the contribution they should have been over here in America, which was the promised land. Zeppelin came here first. That's why they pissed off the English music press, because Peter Grant knew. Peter Grant was here with the Yardbirds. He saw how everything worked. He saw how they were all getting ripped off. And when Jimmy Page, when the Yardbirds broke up, Jimmy Page was like, Peter Grant said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to start a band. He goes, I'm going to manage it, and we're going to make a lot of fucking money. Because he knew how it worked. And he goes, fuck, we're going to the United States. And they made the giant deal with Ahmet Ertegun, just on the pedigree, because Jimmy Page was in the Yardbirds, studio musician, one of the top guys in the studio at that point in the UK, as well as John Paul Jones. And then they just found, they found Plant and Bonham, and bang, they saw, and they just killed. I mean, their first tour, they were blowing people off the stage. Vanilla Fudge, they used to open for Vanilla Fudge, and Carmine Appice was the drummer, and he was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you can't follow. Yeah, you can't follow that, dude.
No, where he got the gong. That's where John Bonham got the gong from Carmine, because Carmine had the gong behind him. He got the setup from Carmine Appice.
Yeah, but like, I think there's something about.
I don't know how you pronounce the last name. It looks like a piece on the paper. So
no, but this is the thing, is that the Led Zeppelin, from my perspective, had a very direct sound, very consistent. It's like right from that first record, you knew it was real rock and roll. But the Kinks, on the other hand, I mean, all right. So this is because, like I say this, I only know whatever is really in front of me, and from what I've done from the other interviews, and it's been a minute. So Just so everybody knows, if you're kind of on the same patch as me, the Kinks are formed in North London in the early 60s by brothers Ray and Dave Davies. They're regarded as one of the most influential rock bands of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
They emerged during the height of the British rhythm and blues. They were briefly part of the Invasion, but then, like we mentioned about the touring ban that they had. Now, their career arc, and I think that's kind of where it is. Their first single is a cover of the Little Richard song "Long Tail Sally," released in '64. Then the song, which we mentioned, "You Really Got Me," which influenced by American everything. Yeah, the Kingsmen, Louie Louie. I mean, you really got me. This is what I'm saying is when people say that they're the original punk band. I mean, "You Really Got Me" is a punk song.
Yeah,
right.
To me, anyway, I go, oh, okay, because it's and then a chord change, and then a key change, and then a chorus chord, and then that's it. The rest is just driving, not anger, but driving energy.
I mean, it's a variation of grunge. It's a variation of everything. It's just like, I mean, you could say it's the loud, it's distorted. There's,
it's the DNA found in the amber going, we can make dinosaurs out of this,
Yeah. And that contributed to their signature sound. It's a blueprint in the hard rock and heavy metal arsenal. Like I said, they're the influence and the approach of the American garage band. And then the Kinks record most of their tracks for their LP, their debut LP, simply titled Kinks. Consistently largely of covers and revamped traditional songs. It goes to number 4 on the UK charts. Then I want to get to the following a mid-year tour in the US. Yeah, then this is where they can't get into the country, which fucks them up. And it's everything that we had talked about. If they get into the country, are they as big as all those other bands we mentioned?
I believe so. I mean, they're carrying the seeds of that's what they did without being here. So how could you think them being here and being exposed and people seeing how they all grew? Because the songs they were writing were still great. They went from that 3-chord punk to those big story songs. And if you look at how music was evolving, go to Revolver, even Rubber Soul, they became story songs where we weren't just talking about a girl. Thank you, I want to get laid. I love you. Let me hold your hand. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now you're being shifted into the Observer. If you look at Eleanor Rigby, that which was on Revolver. Paul's writing from the Observer's point of view. He's telling like little short stories, and Ray was the king of that. Ray was telling you short stories, and then they did the monster songs, which I love. Like 8 Man was one of my favorite songs.
Yes, 8 Man.
8 Man was great.
8 Man's too. Here's what's funny is I mean, out of everything that they've ever done, Lola is my hands. It's just number 1 for me, and I just love it. I love the catchiness of it. I still remember when Justine Bateman's boyfriend on Family Ties like sang it or did a joke about it, and that led me to find out about it. And I love Lola. I think 8 Man is in that. It's on the same record, yeah. So it's on Lola, the Lola Reprise 0979. But I was talking to the ever so happy Mark Maron.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to him that I really dig Lola by the Kinks. And many other times he shit on me as well. He shit on me for saying like, that's their worst song. That's the hack that they like. And then he started sending me all of these like different songs by them, which rightfully so, they were all great. But I think, I think Lola, 8 Man, I mean, dude, they're simplistic, just fun songs.
Well, they're not, I mean, also, they're also well done. The sound, the opening guitar, you know how they got that opening guitar sound?
How?
It's a Martin. So it's a Martin, I'll say D28, could be a D45. It's the same. It's a Martin guitar and a dobro. So it's that if you hear the chord, that's how they get that tinny kind of wow. They just did them both together. So there's intricacies in it. It's not that simple as much as, and it's a story. It hooks you in and tells you 8 Man is a story. That's why King Kong disappoints me, because King Kong's a great riff. And it's a great opening line. I'm King Kong and I'm 10 feet long and you got me. And he's just telling me what this big monkey's going to do. I want the monkey to do shit, break shit, do something. Blue Oyster Cult had Godzilla. He's coming up out of the water, picks up a bus, he throws it back down. He's walking through the center of town. He's pulling high intention wires down. I'm going on a ride. He's breaking shit. I love it. It's rock and roll. You know, King Kong, you have a giant monkey, like, he's going to do this. Everybody wants power. Everybody wants that. He's got a bomb. The bomb never goes off. He just tells me what he's going to do. So that kind of disappointed me. It was a story song that didn't go anywhere. But he was telling stuff, and that was because of fame. It was a weird thing with the Kinks because they maintained their working class perspective, because they were working class, but they didn't go to like the Marquee Club and stuff. They got hired a lot by people in society to play like, you know, their parties and shit. So that's how Ray saw this whole thing.
Wait, what do you mean? They would get
hired they couldn't tour, so they took money gigs in the UK, and rich people hired them to come over and play for them.
So are they? Yeah. So are they just like where? I mean, in America, there's a couple songs that broke through and everybody knows, but then in England, you know, are they?
I mean, because they were there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So are they in England? It's kind of like, I'm trying to think. Is they kind of like? Okay, so here's a good explanation. In America, the Arctic Monkeys didn't blow up until like their third or fourth record or something like that. But that first record came out in England, and because I was in England at the time, they were the biggest band. Like they were bigger than the Beatles. They were Oasis level, or even actually. Let me rephrase this whole thing because I just mentioned them. Oasis is the biggest band to come out of London. They might be even bigger than the Beatles, the way that they're loved in the UK. And here, big band. If they toured, they'd sell out arenas, maybe even the stadium. But in England, they could play for 200 to 300,000 a night. It would be insane. So is that what it was like? Where are they the Oasis of England?
At that point, when they couldn't tour there, what worked to their advantage was they were concentrated in the UK, and everybody else was here. So, you know, that's pretty much why they're bigger in the UK than we. And plus, the UK had a bigger. It was an export. A lot of the backlash came from the British invasion was because they took rock and roll. They took rock and roll, put it through this filter, and gave it back to us. And then all the jazz guys and all the rock and roll guys, they were like, "That's ours, you fucks." Yeah. You know, you just put a fudge stone. I mean, if you listen to Cream, "Hey Lordy Mama" is Strange Brew. It's just "Hey Lordy Mama." That's the riff. Clapton took it, stiffened it up, took it from straight time to shuffle, or shuffle to straight time, and then Tom Dowd, who was the producer, put the lyrics on top of it. And that's how they did. It's just different lyrics, but it's the same riff, you know. So and Hendrix couldn't get arrested. He was playing with Little Richard. He was playing it, you know, down in the Village. Chaz Chandler, the bass player from the Animals, started managing him, took him to London, and that's where he blew up.
Yeah.
And then they exported him back here.
Well, I think the English in general, I just think that some of the best, I mean, every band you've just mentioned, but even now there's still great music that's coming out of there, but they also appreciate music and look, hip hop's big, dance music's big there, but they appreciate the songwriter, they appreciate the guitar, bass, drums. There's something about it there where something like the Kinks, I mean, you know, would break here if it's a catchy pop song, but something like, you know, like, I mean, a song that I know is one of the big ones for the Kinks, Waterloo Sunset, which is like such a British song. Yeah. You know, it's like hunky la doo doo goodly doo doo Waterloo Sunset. Yeah, it's very British.
Travels you through. Yeah, he's got that angry fragileness to his voice, you know? The fragileness pulls you in, but he's nuts. I mean, you can feel there's power behind it. Yeah. England also showed us how rock and roll people behave. No one's wrecking hotel rooms before those guys showed up, you know? No one's driving a Rolls Royce into a swimming pool on the 21st birthday at a Holiday Inn. That's Keith Moon, baby. Yeah, and because Fry's like, we can do that? Somebody get Joe Walsh some Coke. I want to see.
Yeah. You know why they could do it? It's because the exchange rate was so in their favor that they could just break a whole room up, and it would be like, we're charging you $1,000 American. You're like, that's only 500 English. So sure, why not?
You know the story with the Continental Hyatt House up on Sunset.
Oh, the Andaz. Yeah, that's right. I stay there every time I go to Los Angeles. So I'll be there in like a week.
Okay, so that used to be the Hyatt House. Zeppelin named it the Riot House because they would get to the top floor and they would break all kinds of shit and throw TVs all the window.
Oh yeah.
So, I forget which tour it was. It wasn't 77 because that's when the heroin kicked in, and Jimmy went, "I'm tired." So they were breaking up a room, and they came down to pay the manager, and they gave him the bill. And Peter Grant's standing there, and he's like, "How much?" He's counting out the money, and the manager's pissed off. He goes, "All right, here's the money." He's like, "Hey, he goes, what are you so pissed off about? We just paid for the damages. What are you angry at?" He goes, "You fucking guys, you get to come in here and break shit, go out in your way, and I'm stuck in this fucking shithole." He goes, "Oh, is that all it is? Well, go break up a room and bring me the bill." The guy went up, smashed everything in the room, came back, gave him the bill, paid for it. He goes, "See you next time," and left.
Really?
Destroy a whole room in his own hotel to get it out. It's like the piano.
Yes, yeah. That's what sometimes you just need to tinker in something or break the shit out of something. No, look, it's the Kinks are, this is a great record. I mean, I can't deny this. I before I even started really digging into it, I didn't know this was going to be a compilation record.
They had nothing to do with it. You know who put it together, right?
No, here I can read it, or you could tell us.
John Mendelsohn was a critic, and he put it together. They had nothing to do with this because they weren't touring. And it came out, so he put it together. And Mendelsohn, his inspiration was Nick Cohen, who was an English rock critic. And he used to, and just a side story, Nick Cohen used to play pinball with Townsend, and Townsend's working on Tommy. Because Townsend's coming home from Monterey. He took the purple ass that everybody was taking. He's like, "Fuck, I left my body and I don't like this anymore." So he lands. When he lands, he's like, "I got to write something," because he can't, their singles are falling off. His favorite single that the Who ever wrote, that he said he ever wrote, was "I Can See for Miles." He thought that was going to be a number one, and it wasn't. He's like, "We're fucked. This is the best I can do. We're fucked. We got to do something else." So he had the experience on LSD, loved the spiritual inspiration, hated the rest of it. So the guy that did the artists, I'm going to say McKinney was his last name. I forget his first name. The artist that did the Tommy album cover gave him a book called The God Man about Mayor Baba. And as soon as he read it, that's when he started to say, "I'm going to marry the pop single with this mystical journey and write a rock opera." So he wrote everything except Pinball Wizard. And he was playing pinball with Nick Cohen, who John Mendelsohn, he was his mentor. He looked up to him and said, "Yeah, it's nice, but it's heavy. It's a guru. I don't like it." And he was playing pinball in Soho. And Cohen wrote a book called Arthur with an F about a female pinball player who Pete was playing, and she beat him every time. And Townsend said to Nick, "What if I write a song about, he's not a guru, but he can feel the vibrations through a pinball machine?" And Cohen said, "I would give that 4 stars with an extra ball." And he went home that night and wrote Pinball Wizard.
No way.
Brought it back to the studio, was embarrassed by it, played it for everybody. And he was like, "I don't even know if I should finish it. It was terrible." And they said, "This is the number one." And that's how they got Pinball Wizard. So that's how entangled. And the reason I'm telling you that story, I said that to tell you this.
Sure,
Entangled was the critic was at that time with the bands. So I forget I think the record company, I think it was RCA, because they didn't pick up their.
Let's see it. Yeah, I'll anything you miss, I'll double check, because we got Adam.
So Mendelsohn put it together.
Reprise. This is released on Reprise, but the band had signed with RCA in '71.
Yeah. So he put it together, and he did a great job. But the Kinks had nothing to do with it. And it's 26 tracks, and it came out in '72, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so it was up against. Here's the reason I don't know how did it do when it came out.
That I think I've got that too. So you go I'll look at that. Let me see if I can find it, or we might just cut this part a little bit shorter by I can't try to figure it. Hold on, background. Okay, here we go. The album contains all 5 singles that charted on the Billboard Hot 100 during the time period covered on the releases, 2 of which appeared here on the album in the U.S. for the first time. Dead End Street, Mr. Pleasant, Lola, and 8 Man were the band's first American top 10 hits in over 5 years. It doesn't really say the sales, or at least I don't see it. And Jer, maybe you want to check, because I don't see it. He didn't give me anything of that. Oh, wait, hold on. 3, no. Yeah, it doesn't have anything about what it actually did sales wise. I'm assuming it did fine. I mean, this is like the greatest hits.
Yeah, it's the greatest hits, but at the time, and here's the reason I'm asking, because I didn't know the positioning of that in 72. First of all, monster albums came out in 71. You got Zeppelin 4 in 71. You got The Who, Who's Next. You got Hunky Dory from David Bowie.
No, David Bowie, yeah.
Sorry,
I was
I think Tumbleweed Connection, I think was 71. Big fucking year. Big there's a great writer called David Hepworth who wrote a book called 1971. Big monster year. And it was the beginning of glam. Glam was kind of starting. So now you got the Kinks coming in with the greatest hit package of music from the previous decade. And in 72, when it was released, you got Machine Head, which was Deep Purple, which was a great album. You got Ziggy came out, Ziggy Stardust.
Wait, is Deep Purple glam?
No, but that's the different. Glam came out. It was Ziggy came out. Glam, and then it was the beginning of all glam. But then you got the hard stuff coming out as well. So Deep and Purple. This is first run music. Then you also got Yes, you got Closer to the Edge came out.
Long distance, round and around. Long distance.
So what I meant to say, like glam, and then all the music as it's evolving. Now you're bringing back music from a past decade. So it was and it's a compilation of a band that you didn't see tour.
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious how it did in the mix of all this stuff.
Oh wait, hold on, I got it right here.
He's got it.
It was right in the fucking front. It was right in front of me. Well, I don't know if this is the full shit, but it says it was designed specifically for the American market. It peaked at number 94 on the Billboard 200.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was let me read this. After the Kinks failed to renew their American distribution contract with Reprise, the label assembled this compilation without their input. They invited John Mendelsohn. Good old, little Johnny Mendelsohn. How are you? To compile this package, ignoring the band's early trademark hits, already appearing on the Kinks' greatest hits. It became an important milestone in the Kinks' career by introducing highlights of the band's England-centered 1966 through 70 period to American audiences when they were not able to tour. There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask you a question? Wait, before you get into this, here's a question. It's a good one. So if you were putting together a compilation of your best work,
right?
What fellow comedian friend would you trust to do that? Yeah,
that's a very good question. Who would I trust to put someone who thinks I'm funny?
It's not many.
Not many.
Sorry, dude.
I'd get Leary to do it.
Really?
Yeah, because I toured with Leary. We met as actors, and we've done a bunch of TV stuff together. But when we did the Rescue Me comedy tour, we did it for 3 years, and every year we were just churning it out. And I closed the tour. Dennis would go up and do like a half hour, 40 minutes. You know, the band would sing a song, then he would get up and welcome it, but I'd do 40 minutes, just kill. Yeah. And then Kenny Rogerson would go up, and then the band did a song. Then Lenny Clark would go up, and the band did a song, and then I would go up and close it. And then we all sang the Asshole song. We threw T-shirts out into the audience. We ate steak on a tour bus and farted all night. That's what we did. Yeah. But for those 3 years, I was churning out material, and so was he. And I was doing stuff, and he's going, "You got to put that back in." He goes, "That's fucking funny." You know, oh, okay. And Lenny Clark goes, and I would write stuff while we were doing it, but he always had input from me. And he was watching me. And I remember the first time I did the Orpheum Theater, we did Comics Come Home. Before it was at the Gas Arena, it was at the Orpheum. And Dennis was sitting with a big smile on his face. And he never saw me work before. And he always made me feel good about the stuff I was writing. So I would ask him to do it. And he would say no because he's too fucking busy. But I would ask him to do it. He's like, "Adam, fuck, really? Can't I just write a forward to a book?"
God, I just love him so much. It's like I wish he was still putting out specials. You know,
he could. He's really, really good.
I know,
really, really good, and he's got something that most people don't have. He's got that self-awareness, and he can take you from opinion to vulnerability. And I've seen him just hold an audience in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, I mean, they still do Comics Come Home, or they do it at the, like you said, the TD Garden now. It's this huge deal. Burr did it. Bobby Kelly did it. A lot of my buddies. It's a huge thing in the stand-up comedy world every year. And it's like, but you're just like, man, like he he was just like No Cure for Cancer is a iconic comedy special.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're just like you want more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if somebody had to put a compilation of mine, it would, I don't know who would do it now, but if he was still alive and, obviously we'd probably still be as close as we are, I'd say my buddy Angelo, because I could do his. Angelo Bowers, I could list everything. And he was somebody that really paid attention. And I know there's like friends. I'm trying to think who now. I don't know. God damn it. Jay, maybe Big J. Jay could do it, but I'd say Angelo. I'm gonna stick with Angelo. That's got to be tough, though. I mean, to be a critic, like, how would you feel if you were a musician and somebody was like,
Yeah,
and they were putting together a collection? I mean, were
Without
they happy? Were they happy about this?
No, I don't. I can't imagine they would be.
Yeah, without you. I heard you saying that. Yeah,
How do you?
your-
Hi, we're going to put something together with your name on it that you have nothing to do with. How
All right, but
are you happy about that?
I don't think they could be, but also, I mean, look, dude, it probably got them more money. So yes, that's fucking rad, and they love money. I can tell. And then it opens up to another audience. But then, like, let's look at the tracks that they put on there. Let me see if I can pull it all up.
They started off great. Victoria was great. Victoria's a great way to start an album.
Yes. Oh, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. This was a fun listen. This was not hard at all.
I will tell you what song I never want to hear again.
Please. Oh wait, do you want to wait? Bop, 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 bop.
All right,
All right. You know what? We can do it here. Let's just do it here. Just do it here.
Go.
Do it here.
Victoria, I win. Victoria, I'm in. Great way to start an album. Love the song. I thought it was great. How about you?
Oh yeah. Oh dude, this is like the opening track from their concept record Arthur. I loved like just reading about the lyrics. It's like they juxtapose the grim realities of life in Britain during the 19th century. Sex was bad, called obscene, and the rich were so mean, and expresses the simple adulation of queen and country by the downtrodden working class. I love that kind of shit, dude. That's what I meant.
That's what I meant when that was their experience, because they were working class and they maintained the work low. They got a song called Low Budget.
Yeah.
I'm on low budget. And it's garagey and it's screaming in the background. Fucking great. But they can still take you into the world of aristocracy. They can take you into society because they were there. And so that's what I loved about this song. And it just kicks off an album. Great.
Yeah. And then to go from that into Village Green Preservation Society, which, this is
poppy fun.
It's fun. When we did that record, it was a lot of fun. I said it's the most British song of all time. It's probably one of their, am I wrong? It's one of their more iconic songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you say the Kinks, that's in the list of the top 3 songs that they bring out.
Let's see, a very reflective, nostalgic song written by lead singer Ray Davies. This is about the innocent times in small English towns where the Village Green was a community center. The entire album this track is from was based on this theme. Ray Davies explained, "You have to remember that North London was my Village Green, my version of the countryside. I sang in the choir at St. James Primary School until I was 10, and then I trained myself to sing out of the tune so I could hang around with a gang called the Crooners instead. Our Scottish singing teacher, Miss Lewis, said, 'Never mind, Davies, I hear crooners are making a lot of money these days.'" Have you ever done something poorly on purpose to get out of doing it?
Yeah. When I was a kid, any married guy has.
Like what? Like, I don't know. I'm not married.
Any married guy has. You go, "Honey, you want me to do this?" And once you do something poorly for a while and screw things up, she never asks you again. That's the key. So yeah.
What do you do poorly? What's something that you will do poorly to get out?
Can you water the flowers? So what am I doing?
That's easy. What are you talking about? That's got to be fun and relaxing.
Apparently, I've done it wrong. There's too much pressure for the flowers. You have to be delicate. I just turn the friggin' hose on. Yeah. What do I know?
I get that.
Make sure you take care of the dog. Did the dog eat? Yes, I fed the dog. I come home. The dog has ketchup on it. She ate.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man. Feed the dog.
I did. I fed the dog. We both had hamburgers. The dog couldn't have been happy.
I can't.
You got to put the water higher for the dog so she doesn't bring her neck down. I go, she sat on my lap. We ate hamburgers in the park. It was great.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I do love that. It's funny. It's a good way of getting out of something. All right, so far so good. So far you're nailing. You know,
Mhm.
these are good songs. Wait,
Now we
why-
come to track 3, Berkeley Muse. Never want to hear it again. Second most annoying song in the world. Only second to 1-8 the Cars for Kids commercial. That through my head like a nail. Got to turn off the sports radio every time that comes on. This is the same thing. It starts with that rolling piano, then it's got the driving. It never comes together. It
Yeah.
never comes together. It's like Kurt Weill and a dentist drill. It never comes together. Even like Tomorrow Never Knows, which is one of those the acid song that Lennon wrote on Revolver. You got the drum beat, Ringo's brilliant drum beat, and that bass line. It's keeping all the wacky shit together, all the tape loops and all the stuff that McCartney put in there, and the single droning chord. There's something there to hold it together. This has nothing holding it together.
Yeah, this is released on a non-album single in '70 as a B-side to Lola. It's references a small street in London, with the lyrics recounting one night stand influenced by the music of the 1940s.
Terrible.
I just don't. To be honest with you, it doesn't even. There's nothing that even like holds me to it that makes me even remember it.
No, it's got that rolling piano, that music hall-y kind of 40s, and then the driving. Stop it.
Yeah, but I mean, look, and then you're cutting, you know, like you go from that. Holiday in Waikiki was good. Then you get to the end of side 1, Waterloo Sunset, which, you know, is ranked the 14th greatest song of. This is insane. Is this true?
What?
Waterloo Sunset was ranked the 14th greatest song of all time on Rolling Stone magazine's 2021 list of the 500 greatest songs of all time, sandwiched between Rolling Stone, Gimme Shelter, and the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Is this real? Adam, dude, I'm going to call you Adam. Jeremiah, check that math, please.
It's real. That's crazy.
It's good, but it's not that good.
Yeah, is this a top 15 song?
What number is it?
14
out of
500.
No.
You serious, Jared? Is this real?
It's real.
Do you have the other ones? What's above that?
Whose dick did Dave Davies suck to get?
What song? What's the top 20? What songs? Just give me the top 20. Do you have that? Because we'll see
investigator.
What 5 song is better? Ask Go Gadget Jeremiah.
Go Jer. He's probably looking at porn right now. Jer, what do you got?
Well, you gotta let me share. Adam, you gotta let me share.
Oh.
I mean, I can show it to you. It's easier, you know?
Yeah, hold on. What do I gotta do? You're asking me to do shit, Jeremiah.
Well, this is crazy. I mean, the 2021 list, it's Aretha Franklin, Respect is number 1. Public Enemy, Fight the Power, number 2.
Oh, all right.
Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come, number 3. Bob Dylan, Like a Rolling Stone, number 4. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. The Beatles, Strawberry Fields Forever. The first Beatles song is Strawberry Fields Forever.
And what number is it?
7. Number 7. And then Missy Elliott, Get Your Freak On's number 8.
Missy Elliott there before Stairway to Heaven. Okay.
It's just a whack list. Fleetwood Mac, Dreams. Outkast, Hey Ya, number 10.
Great song, and not a top 10 song of all time.
No.
It did. You put it on at a bar mitzvah. It's a top 3 song. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Listen. This is Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone has no idea what the fuck they're doing anymore. They're lucky. They are lucky that I'm doing this podcast.
Ohio's not up there. Somebody died. We wrote his song. No. Hey, yeah. Okay.
Pete Townsend called Waterloo Sunset divine and called it a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we've talked about it. It's a great song. I don't think it deserves to be in the top 20 or even the top 100. Do you think it deserves to be in the top 100?
Yeah, I put it in the top. But then again, I'm partial to that period of time. So my top 100 is going to be different than someone else's.
Okay. Yeah, but then now you're starting to open it up from Waterloo. I love David Watts,
which was about some gay guy that had a crush on Dave.
Real person. Yep. Gay promoter.
Yeah.
then Dead End Street, Shangri-La, Automatic Almanac, Sunny Afternoon. I mean, these are all.
Sunny Afternoon was great. He wrote that. He was all depressed from what I read. He wrote that. He goes, I sat in a dark room. I was not in a good place. I was in a dark room. We couldn't talk. I had to find myself again. And that's where he wrote it.
Yeah, it's basically a contemporary Taxman by the Beatles. It's where are we? All right, get back in line. See, I said, the two songs that we could talk about this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to talk about the two that I enjoy probably the most. You already mentioned one of them, 8 Man.
Yeah,
8 Man is, I mean,
read your thing, baby. Read your thing.
Let me see where I got it. 8 Man, alongside many of the songs from Lola versus Power Man album, was written during a family trip in 1970. In the song, Davies is fed up with the modern world and declares that he wants to sail away to a distant shore and make like an 8 Man. He also expresses how man created our problems, and given a half a chance, he would leave the cities and traffic to live in the jungle. It reflects the nostalgia expressed on the albums Lola versus Power Man and the Kinks Are the Village Green Preservation Society. These are the songs that, which we're about to talk about 8 Man and Lola. 8 Man and Lola are the two songs that Marin, and I think if you're a diehard Kinks fan, or at least the evolution of where they went, these are the songs that you probably like shit on the most, because these are like,
but they're fun and they bring awareness. 8 Man's a great song. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, and this is actually, I was funny when I read it, when I heard the song when I was a kid, and it got a little bit of banned a little bit in this country because they said, and the air pollution is fogging up my mind. They thought it was, he said fucking up my mind, and so did the radio people thought he said fucking up, but it wasn't. It was fogging up my mind. But when you're a kid, you think he's fucking up your mind. And where else are you going to hear a rock and roll beat that's kind of calypso? I mean, just
it was, yeah.
pulling that stuff in was great. So 8 Man, I disagree with the fact that you can't like something popular just to be contrary. Which I think.
Look, Mark is Mark, and he is a music fan, and he's going to shit on what he shits on, and he can shit on me all he wants. But I think,
and Lola, I have an affinity for because my guitar teacher played it for me, and I was like, oh,
this Lola is such a good, catchy song. It just originally, let's see, I'm just trying to see if I can read all the little shit. It was banned by the BBC, because also. Let me before I get to that, let's start here. It details a romantic encounter between a young man and a possible cross-dresser or trans woman who he met in a club in Soho, London. In the song, the narrator describes his confusion towards Lola, who walked like a woman but talked like a man, yet he remains infatuated with her. Ray Davies claimed to have done a bit of research with drag queens for the song lyrics.
Okay.
He was denied claims that the song was written about a date between himself and Candy Darling. Davies contends the two only went out to dinner together, that he had known the whole time that Darling was transgender. Is this the first? I mean, it's almost making, cross-dressing and trans okay and normal. In what year did this come out? What year did Lola come out? In fucking, hold on. In fucking 1970.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the beginning of glam. It's starting to form. You got T-Rex wearing eye makeup. You got Mark Bolan wearing eye makeup doing the singles, and then Bowie takes over glam into an album, and that just, and then you got Sweet, who are cross-dressing. You got the New York Dolls. Yeah.
Ooh, somebody released the dogs.
That's it. Who Let the Dogs Out? Number 8.
My dog is chilling. Yeah, but that's, I'm telling you, like Lola's way ahead of its time.
I think it was the first hit that put that together. I'm sure there was other.
I love this. I think this. I
thought it was great too. I mean,
when you talk about the Kinks, if you talk about the Kinks, and I go, oh, the band that did Lola, there you go. I don't say, oh, the band that did Waterloo Sunset.
No.
Dookie La Dookie? No, I'm talking about this fucking song.
Yeah, you got and the live album when he goes like this, LOLA, and then you hear the crowd comes up and singing Lola. And Ray said he knew it was a hit when his baby was crawling around singing la 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 Lola when it was on the radio. So the baby was doing it, so it reached his kid and who sang the chorus. So yeah, it was a good song.
Controversy over the lyrics. Ray addressed the matter, saying it doesn't matter what sex Lola is. I think she's all right. Some radio stations faded the track out before implications of Lola's biological sex were revealed, banned from being played on several radio stations in Australia because of its controversial subject matter. Though some began playing Lola again after having made a crude edit, which sounded like the record had jumped a groove to remove the line, "I'm glad I'm a man and so's Lola." It's just shows you, like, I mean, it's still like, not to get like, I'm not social justice warrior at all, but it's like, dude, people want to live a certain life. Let them live a certain life, and it's, you can't hide it from people. Don't shun people from how the world is. And it's like, and look, that's 1970, so I get it. But even now, with the shit that's going on, it's just like, if a guy is born if a guy is born a guy but believes he's a woman and he wants to be a woman, let them do that.
If that's the truth you're chasing, God bless you.
Yes.
God bless you. Go be happy. Do you realize how strong an impulse has to be when you look down at your genitalia, you go, oh, this is wrong.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
I have to do something about this.
Yeah. I think, I know this is not, the song that, like, at like the LGBTQT, what the trans,
they're not
like,
playing this.
they're not playing Lola, but
No.
I mean, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's so pro. Whatever you are is what you want to be. Because guess what, Lola? You're sexy. Regardless if you're a man or a woman.
Yeah.
I can't fucking tell. And you are sexy. And that's it. And so from that, I'm telling you, man.
I will tell Lola, drinking cherry cola is bad for you. It's too much sugar, whether you're a man or a woman.
Yeah. That was why it got banned. It got banned because the word Coca-Cola was in there. Yeah, man. I mean, and if you want to we go through any other, there's nothing else I feel like it's even
The other one I really love is
go ahead.
She's Got Everything. Yeah, she's
That's
got
a good one.
everything. It just really just fucking, it's a great garage song for me. And it was put on because Wonder Boy underperformed. And John Lennon's favorite Kink song was Wonder Boy.
Really?
Yeah. Played it over and over again. I forget what book I read it in. Johnny Rogan did a biography of who was an English music writer. He did a biography of the Kinks. And I think I read it in there.
That's a band. It's a band that I just keep. I don't know enough about, but the stuff I know about, I really dig. And the music that I listen to, I really dig. I do think, look, are they in the discussion of the greatest Britpop bands of all time? Yeah, I do. I think
they have to be.
I think they have to be.
You really got me alone. You have to be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Do you think that, let me ask you this before we start wrapping this up. Do you think that John Mendelsohn did a good job picking out the songs? Do you think from outsider perspective of what you know about the band, and you think he's kind of eclipsed and got those 4 or 5 years of their music just in a perfect,
I think he did. I think it should have been a single album. I think it would have been a monster as a single album.
Yeah. There might be a little bit of filler on here.
It's like, if you made this, a 10-track album, boom, this is a monster. That's what I would know.
Do you think, and now this question that a lot of, this I already know our fans want to ask you, do you feel that compilation should be on the 500 greatest albums list?
You know what? I'm hedging my answer for this because there's the 500, there's the compilation list, and then there's the Desert Island. Every time we do the Desert Island discs where you have to pick a song, I always go with compilation because I get everything I need. The Beatles Blue album, I get everything when they said we're not touring anymore. John said something about Jesus. It's just too much trouble. So that's that's the one I'm taking. I think it should be a separate category because it does, like the Sex Pistols are never going to have a compilation, but they're going to have a great album.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have the album that kicked off a decade and brought about change. Granted, it was marching jackboots, which is scary, but still, that marked the end of the 70s, if you want, for rock and roll. I mean, you had disco banging around, which never really spoke to me, and punk was the edge in my formative years. But I'll be honest with you, Josh, I know 3 chords. I'm not that angry, and I'm not putting a safety pin in my face.
Yeah.
So, in answer to your question, I think it should be a separate category, the compilation album, and I think it should be a little bit revered because you have to do a lot of work to be considered in that category.
Mm-hmm. Bob Marley legend. I mean, it's from top to bottom.
Stones hot tracks.
Yeah, fucking Eagles' greatest hits.
That's what you need. That
Yeah.
was the most. That was the biggest selling album until I forget what knocked it off. But still,
It's
that
it's
resurrect.
it's been on the top 200 Billboard, whatever the list is,
Yeah.
for years. Madonna Immaculate Collection, which is coming up, which is like, dude, we just did Like a Prayer by Madonna, which it has like 3 songs on it that I'm like, yeah, these are good, and then the rest I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
dig.
But
But
spoke to every girl of that age.
sure, but what
Everyone's
I'm
wearing
saying,
rubber jewelry, singing like a virgin, and every guy's going, "Who are you kidding?"
sure, but that's the whole thing that is Immaculate Collection, which has one or two new songs on it. Is that
Mhm.
okay? And so I don't know. I just always like to get that. We
It's a
did.
device. I will tell you who did a good job for
Who?
their fan was Billy Joel did an album called "Songs in the Attic," which wasn't just a double live compilation album. It was songs that he had that never really got their due, and he
Mhm.
played them live because they took on a different life when you play them live. Captain Jack was an epic when you play it live. It has balls. It's a whole the organ carries the bottom of it. Miami 2017, which
I
was on
love that.
Turnstile.
That's my one of my favorite Billy songs of all time, dude.
Yeah, but the
Without a
live
doubt.
version with the alarm going off, it's just
Oh,
so I thought that was interesting to do because he's not saying here's a repackaged of my hits done live, which is a device for a double album greatest hits kind of thing. It's also cheap to produce, but
Sure.
he gave you another version of stuff that you might not have been aware of if you just when The Stranger came out if you didn't go out and buy the back catalog. So I thought that was well done. I thought that was well thought out and very considerate of the fan base.
yeah. I think if you are if you are don't know the Kinks and you want to get into the Kinks, this is a
Yeah.
perfect way to do it. This
Yeah.
is it.
And
Perfect
also
way to
get
do it.
one more from the road. That's the live album that's got Lola live on it, which is really
Ooh, I'm gonna listen to that as soon as on my walk with the dog.
yeah, that's good. And it doesn't even have my two favorite Kink songs on here.
What are your
My
two
favorite
Kink
Christmas
songs?
song is Father Christmas by the Kinks. You ever hear Father Christmas by the Kinks?
I don't think I've heard it.
Fuck, you got to play that. Take that on the walk. Father Christmas, give us some money. We got no time for your stupid toys. We'll
What?
beat you up if you don't hand it over.
Hey, wait, is this
The little
did,
rich
did you ever
boys.
see, dude, there's a video of this British guy doing a comparison between John Lennon's Christmas song and Paul McCartney's, and it's like he's playing the so this is Christmas. No, it's Christmas time, people are dying, go fuck yourself. And there's John Lennon's. And then it's like it goes to Paul's and it's like, it's Christmas time, break out the wine. Uncle John's got his favorite jumper. It's like it's just so happy, and this guy nailed it. And
Yeah.
that just made me think of like the
Yeah.
John Lennon version, like go fuck yourself, it's
Yeah.
Christmas.
And what have you done? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the video.
Send me
'Cause this
that.
guy's
That's good.
perfect.
And I'll send you Father Christmas. It's a great song. And Low
So-
Budget's a great song.
So is that the other one? Low budget is the
But
other.
I'm on low budget. Just the screaming and the yelling and the garage feel of it all. It's just
Okay.
fucking great.
I love it, dude. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's get you out of here, dude.
right, baby.
So wait. Before we do it, we've got to ask you the questions. You already mentioned your least favorite song on here,
Go ahead.
which was just to double check, just so we can
Track
remember.
3.
Yeah,
Berkeley
track,
Muse.
track 3. What's your favorite song on this
Well,
record?
We got I'd actually pick 8-Man over Lola. Be honest.
Really? Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
only because 8-Man when I played it for my girlfriend at the time, she said, "Did you write that?" And I half a second I was going to say yeah.
Yeah, come on, dude. Of course I did.
But I will tell you, I've been really in revisiting it. She's Got Everything is making me happy. She's got everything. I'm playing it, so I'm going to go with my current one is She's Got Everything. That's what I'm going to do.
I stick with it because it's just I would put Lola in my top 20 favorite songs of all time. It's just it never misses. It always makes me
Yeah.
feel good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'd love to do it at the goddamn Comedy Jam. I just don't think that the audience would even know what the fuck it is. But I mean, if you like I said, you could be Marin and you can be their later shit, the jukebox this or whatever the tracks are, and I'll put a list together of the Marin ones that he picked. But I will tell you this. Lola, 8-Man, perfect songs, and Lola takes the cake. All right, my question to you is, can you fuck to this record?
Not a man.
I don't think so. No,
I'm not.
no, man, no. I mean,
No. You can, but it's not going to help.
it's not. This is not a fuckable record. This is
you can, but then again, to be honest with you, I could fuck to an evacuation alarm. To be honest, I get whoop, whoop, we're almost done. You know,
but you look, all right. The Beatles, yeah, I don't think you can
set a mood for that.
It doesn't. I don't think the Beatles, the Stones. I think there's a couple tracks there's some stuff you can fuck to. I think like Led Zeppelin 1, you can fuck to because there's a lot of like slow, sexy shit. But yeah,
I would say you put on. I think it was in. Was it in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, dude? And whenever you can, you put on side 2 of Zeppelin 4.
Zeppelin 4. Yeah. Oh yeah. But there's something about the Kink sound, which is kind of like that, that Paul McCartney Christmas song. It's a goodly do, hunkily do, scoodly do.
Ray has that haunting ability too. Celluloid Heroes. You heard that song, right?
I don't. No, I don't know that one. No, I don't know that one.
Immediately put in Celluloid Heroes. He has that haunting. He has that ability to take you to a place and just really move you. It's you don't want to fuck to it, but it can really move you. It's like the band. The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down is a haunting song.
Love that.
It doesn't say "Honey, come here, I love you." But it does move you. Listen to Celluloid Heroes about broken dreams in Hollywood. Listen to that song. I don't think.
Yeah, I would totally. I don't think that this is a very fuckable record.
No,
and there's no way you're getting from Victoria all the way down to Days. There's no way. It's an hour and a half, even with foreplay. No. What would be your elevator pitch to get someone to listen to this record?
My elevator pitch to get someone to listen to the Kinks?
Yeah.
The Kinks did not tour for 4 years because they got in a fight. That doesn't mean the music isn't good. If you consider yourself a music fan, how do you not listen to something that's already been compiled, not by the Kinks, but by a music critic?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You want to be a fan or not? This is my stop. I got to get off.
Yeah. I love that you leaned into it too. You're like, all right, listen, Frank. All right, I got to go. But let me tell you something. Okay. There's stuff going on here. The Kinks, they're where it's at. Adam, promote away. Anything you want to promote, bud?
At Adam Ferrara on all social media. I don't know when this is going to drop, but I have tour dates up there. Please come see me live. I will make you laugh. My podcast, the Adam Ferrara Podcast, 30 Minutes You'll Never Get Back, is available wherever you get your podcast. Josh has been on the program again, and he's going to do it again.
Yeah,
I am going to guilt him into it.
Now we're setting the date after this.
Yes, and it's always fun to talk to you, my friend. So please check out my podcast. Come see me live. I will make you laugh. God bless you all. Rock and roll forever, baby.
Go see Adam live. Support his podcast. Dude, you are human Prozac, bud. I mean that. You really, really are. You're the best. So thank you for coming on. You're going to be on again. So just know that.
Love you, baby.
All right. So when do you want to record your pod? Because that was
you want to wait till after the holiday?
It's up to you. I'm in. Look, if I'm in town and I'm in New York, so I'll be here up until December 23rd.